जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Satashvi Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home. Text number 21. Word for word. Tata Manur Vo Bhagavan Pitamaho Yam Ekamatya Puru Dakshiner Maker Itsva Bipede Duravapam Anyato Momam Sukham Divyam Ataparvargyam Tata Manurvo Bhagavan Pitamaho Yam Ekamatya Puru Dakshiner Maker Itsvapi Pede Druvapamam Anyato Bomam Sukam Divyam Ataparvargyam Tato manurvo Bhagavan Pitamaho Yam ekamatya purudakshinir makher Isvabhipede druvavapam anyato Bomam shukam divyamata parvagam Tata manurvo Bhagavan Pitamaho Yam ekamatya purudakshinir makher Isvabhipede druvavapam anyato Bomam shukam divyam ataparvagyam Tamanurvo Bhagavan Pyamaho Mataji's. Kapanya Piramaho Ekamatya Puru Dakshine Makhe Isvapipede Durapananyatata Anurva Bhagavan Pitamaha Akya Purudakshay Make Edurapamanyato Roma Sukam Divyam Atapavargam Tata. Similarly, Manu Swayambhuva Manu Va Yo Bhagavan worshipable Mahapitamaha grandfather Yam unto whom Ekamatya with unflinching devotion Puru great Dakshiner charity Makher by executing sacrifices Isva worshipping Abhipede achieved Durvapam difficult to achieve Anyata by any other means Bhomam material Sukham happiness Divyam celestial Ata thereafter Apavargyam liberation. Translation. Suniti informed her son, your grandfather Swayam Bhuva Manu executed great sacrifices with distribution of charity, and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion, he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. Please repeat. Suniti informed her son, your grandfather, Swayambhuva Manu, executed great sacrifices with distribution of charity, and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion, he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness in this life and liberation in the next. Such success can be achieved only by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Eka Matya mean concentrating one's mind on the Lord without deviation. This process of undeviating worship of the Supreme Lord is also expressed in Bhagavad Gita as Ananya Bhak. That which is impossible to obtain from any other source is also mentioned here. Other source refers to worship of the demigods. It is especially stressed here that the opulence of Manu was due to his undeviating faithfulness in the transcendental service of the Lord. One who diverts his mind to worshipping many demigods to obtain material happiness is considered bereft of intelligence. If anyone wants even material happiness, he can worship the Supreme Lord without deviation, and persons who are desirous of liberation can also worship the Supreme Lord and achieve their goal of life. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurul Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Shnapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Thamsajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavari Paschetta Deshatharine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Atitanam Pabinebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giradhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation. Suniti informed the son, your grandfather Swayam Bhuva Manu executed great sacrifices with distribution of charity, and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. Srila Prabhupada writes, the success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness in this life and liberation in the next. Such success can be achieved only by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a very nice pastime that we are going through. Dhruva Maharaj being instructed by his mother, and here Prabhupada is speaking in terms of our success, and at the end we look for liberation. This is the general tendency of human beings because of being influenced by the outside world. Everyone wants a good education for their children, and they want to see them placed comfortably in material life. And they put more stress on educating their children and getting them through school and university and seeing that they have nice jobs and things like that. So this is material life. A nice family, nice house. Everyone's working hard for these things. And they simply perform some kind of religion, mainly to make a show. I have some spiritual sentiment, and they follow family tradition or culture that they were born in, and they generally they do not make any inquiry into the purpose of this human form of life, and as a result, they just follow the general mass of people working hard to maintain this sense gratification. And there's so much influence, first by those that are close to us. Get a nice job, study more, study part-time, things like that. Apply for better jobs, travel elsewhere and work and things like that. So everyone's influenced. Under this influence of the material world is to simply enjoy this body. But you'll have to work hard. That's one thing they realize. You have to work hard to maintain your standard of sense gratification. So Prabhupada is saying the success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness. And after they've done their career, their job, they've maintained their families, taken care of their families at little, when they come to what is called so-called old age, then they try for liberation. They become a little spiritual, or they show more sentiment towards religion. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Gaur Hari ki jai, Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Prabhupada continues. The words Ekha Matya means concentrating one's mind on the Lord without deviation. This process of undeviating worship of the Supreme Lord is also expressed in Bhagavad Gita as Ananya Bhak. That which is impossible to obtain from any other source is also mentioned here. So we are trapped in this world. Arshati, we are trapped and we're struggling hard with the senses, according to Bhagavad Gita, which includes the mind. And Karshati means it's a hard struggle for existence. It's very difficult. So we are in chains. Those who have awakened to God consciousness or Krishna consciousness, they understand how we are chained, because we are always looking for complete freedom. We want to get to the top of whatever institution we are, or at work, so we can have complete control. We have complete freedom. Then we can execute our thoughts, our ideas. So everyone is searching after complete freedom, but we are shackled by iron chains. We are in a prison house, and only Lord Krishna, as we're reading in this verse, and what Prabhupada is saying, that only Lord Krishna can give us this complete freedom. And even whatever we need in material life is so very nicely explained here, that we can also simply get from Lord Krishna, and we don't have to go to the demigods who are his empowered agents for providing all these material needs. Still, the only thing we can achieve, the only way we can get things is complete freedom, or anything what is so-called material is from Lord Krishna. But we'll have to understand that we are in prison, we are shackled by this iron chain, and we are locked in this way. So we'll see how important it is to take shelter of Lord Krishna, because from the very beginning of his life, we see how he was able to unlock these chains. Only Krishna can free us from the cycle of birth and death, and he can physically take us out from this prison. And to understand this, we go back to understand the appearance or the birth of Lord Krishna. We'll find that his parents, Devaki and Vasudev, at the time of the wedding, Devaki's brother Kamsa agreed, or he was very enthusiastic to drive the chariot that would take his sister back to her new home. And it's a traditional, very opulent festival, and many female servants would go along with the bride, and it was a very joyous occasion. And Kamsa was also very happy that his sister was married and he was taking her back to her new home. And while doing this, there was a prophetic voice from the sky that told Kamsa, "You're such a great fool, you're driving your sister, but you don't know that the 8th child of your sister will be the one who will be able to, the one that will eventually kill you." So Kamsa, when he heard this, he was surprised. He looked around, and then he took it seriously. And then immediately he wanted to kill his sister. So by the intervention of Vasudev, Krishna's father, he was very diplomatic in his dealings with Kamsa, and he knew the nature of Kamsa. He was like uncontrollable. But he began to praise Kamsa in so many ways. And he was still afraid, because Kamsa was so demoniac that Vasudev was thinking, but still I have to save my wife Devaki for now, and then later on try and save the children that would come. So in this way, he made an agreement. Vasudev made an agreement with Kamsa that actually the danger is not with the danger is from the 8th child. So I will present to you each child that's born. For you can do what you want with that child. So somehow this pacified Kamsa a little, and he agreed. So thereafter, when the first child was born, then we'll find that Vasudev was a great person. He took the child according to the agreement that he made. He took the child to Kamsa. So when Kamsa saw this, he was he was taken, said, this is such a great person that he's actually kept his word, and he's brought his child here for me to kill. And Kamsa said, he also thought, no, actually the danger is from the 8th child. And so he said, okay, now you take your child back. So Vasudeva was very happy, and he went back and he told Devaki, this is what happened. But then the Narad Muni comes. Narad Muni is a great saintly person, and he wanted to speed up the appearance of Lord Krishna. And then Narad Muni, he reminds Kamsa that he shouldn't be compassionate, because the 8th child will be the one that will be the one that will kill you. So in this way, Narad Muni, he was able to influence in a transcendental way, because he wanted to speed up the pastimes of Lord Krishna on this planet. And here Narad Muni was also very excited that Krishna is going to come, so he wanted to speed up the process. So he was able to influence Kamsa, and as a result of this, Kamsa became very vicious, very demoniac, and he went immediately and he brought the child back, killed the child. In this way, day after every year when the child was born, Kamsa would kill the child. So when the 8th child was born, is Lord Krishna. So we can, after the first child, when Kamsa went back and he got the child, he immediately prisoned Vasudeva and Devaki. They were in a prison cell. So they were in a prison, that means they couldn't do anything basically. So when Krishna was born, traditionally the king would give charity to the Brahmanas. But because Vasudeva was in a prison, he could do nothing. So he began to mentally offer charity, especially decorated cows, to the Brahmanas. But he could not do anything that was traditionally done when a child was born. So in this way, we'll see how Krishna, Vasudeva thought that somehow I must take this child, I must save this child. And you will find that when he picked up Lord Krishna, immediately the guards fell off to sleep. The iron chains that locked the door were unlocked. How this happened? By Lord Krishna's arrangement. So this is how Krishna unlocks everything. This is from the very beginning of his life. If we study, we can see how he's unlocking everything for Vasudeva, to take him to the house of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. So all the guards, they fell off to sleep. All the locks on the doors, they were opened. Vasudeva came out, although it was at midnight or at night, but when Vasudeva came out, it was like daylight for him. So he could see everything very clearly. Vasudeva went to the house of Mother Yashoda. He left Krishna there, and he came back. When he came back into the prison cell, the doors locked, the chains were put back on, and the guards opened. So this is how Lord Krishna, if we are sincere, Lord Krishna opens or he unlocks all these obstacles that's on our path. So from the very beginning of Lord Krishna's life, we could see that how he is the one that actually removes obstacles. He creates the good fortune. And this, therefore, we can only, from what we read and from Prabhupada's book, whatever we desire, whatever is good for us, for advancement in spiritual life, Krishna is making that arrangement. Sometimes we may not be happy because we may be desiring a certain thing, and we dedicate and we work hard to achieve that goal, but the end, there's some disappointment. Something will go wrong. So ultimately we should understand, okay, Krishna, Lord Krishna, you're trying to do something that's good for me, or you're trying to save me from a very difficult situation. So we should always think in this way, this is all Lord Krishna's mercy, and He's doing what is best for us. So we can see that how Krishna unlocks the doors. And what we are reading here in this purport, the success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness and thereafter liberation. And Prabhupada, and in the verse, we are simply directed to worship Lord Krishna directly. And it's also mentioned that by acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. So, again, in this world, we're trying to become completely free, but we can only become free when we take shelter of that person who is completely free. And that's Lord Krishna. Because as Prabhupada encourages us, that we should simply follow the process. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. This is the beginning. And the great examples of this is Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadev Goswami. By their mercy we have the Bhagavatam. At the end of his life, when Maharaj Parikshit was cursed to die within 7 days, he asked, the first question he asked is that, what should a man who is about to die, or at the time of death, what should he do, what should he think of? And then Sukadev Goswami begins to answer his questions. One should simply become a devotee of Lord Krishna. One should chant and hear about Lord Krishna. So this is the two great examples of Shravanam and Kirtanam. Maharaj Parikshit, who simply heard, he attained this perfection, and Sukadev Goswami, simply by describing or glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, he achieved perfection. So this is how we can achieve liberation. Material happiness, there's actually no material happiness in one sense. It's material because it's forgetfulness of Krishna. That's material. And whatever we have, we can simply use in the service of Krishna. Prabhupada mentioned so many times. And many devotees, you will find that he encouraged them to go on with their studies, get PhD degrees. Some he encouraged them in business. Some he encouraged them to use their talents in Krishna's service, like George Harrison of the Beatles. So many artists to use their talents in painting for the Krishna book, for painting for Srimad Bhagavatam. So whatever we have, it's how we use it that will bind us in this world or liberate us. And the famous example is given of a knife. In a surgeon's hand, it can save someone. And in the hand of a butcher, it can kill someone. So it's the same knife. But how you use it, that you'll have to take guidance from a higher or more advanced devotee, a mentor who will be able to guide you, and someone that you'll have a personal relationship with, someone who knows you. And in this way, they'll be able to guide you properly to work your way through this life. And you can achieve anything you want that's available on the market. Anything. You can become millionaire, billionaire, you can fly around everywhere in the world, whatever you want to do. But you have to place Krishna in the center. And at the end, we're all desiring to become completely free. And as we've read and heard, that the only way to have that freedom is to take complete shelter of Lord Krishna, who is the complete freedom, and by associating with him, with his devotees, we'll be able to join him in the spiritual world. Prabhupada continues, when one diverts his mind to worshipping many demigods to obtain material happiness, it's considered is considered bereft of intelligence. If anyone wants even material happiness, He can worship the Supreme Lord without deviation. And persons who are desirous of liberation can also worship the Supreme Lord and achieve the goal of their life. Of course, this is a common topic, the worship of demigods. But we have to understand, we have to develop faith in the person that's telling us don't worship demigods. Otherwise it's very difficult, because that is the duty, that's the function of the demigods. They provide everything for keeping the body and soul together. And they are empowered by Krishna. So it takes a little more austerity, it takes a little more surrender to accept that yes, we should simply take shelter of Krishna for anything, as we are reading, for both for material success and for liberation. Of course, only Krishna can give us liberation beyond this material world. As we heard the other day in Bhagavatam class, one who worships the demigods, they go to the planets of the demigods. One who worships the forefathers, they go to such places. One who worships the ghosts and spirits, they go to such places. Krishna says, one who worships me comes to my supreme planet. So we have to develop faith that yes, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He sends His bona fide representatives to this world to help us to come out of material attachment, and gradually by practice of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, we'll be able to gradually achieve attachment for Lord Krishna. So we should develop this faith. It takes time and patience. We simply have to follow the process, practice, and simply depend on Lord Krishna's mercy. Hare Krishna. Stop there and you can add on to the class, comment.
Hare Krishna. So we see from this that the underlying principle is surrender. And who to surrender to? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, we may be beginners in Krishna consciousness, but we can surrender at every step, at every given situation. We need to surrender. So, we may not be worshipping the demigods, and we may be worshipping Krishna. As I said, at every step we need to surrender more and more and more. And as our faith matures, we surrender more and more unto the lotus feet of Krishna. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Radhika Jivan Das.
What happens when one's father is like sadhu?
What happens?
When one's father is already like sadhu?
Your father is a devotee, is a sadhu?
Yeah.
Yes, you should try and follow him. When someone's a devotee, or a sadhu, that means they are perfecting their human form of life. They had some spiritual inquiry, and as a result of their sincerity, they received mercy from God or Krishna. So individually, if someone's a sadhu, it's for their own purification, it's for their own spiritual advancement. So we'll get some benefit, but not complete benefit. If someone's a devotee, we will get benefit. But for us, we'll also have to make that endeavor to become a sadhu or a devotee. We just cannot depend on the mercy that we receive from those who are sadhus that are connected with us. So we all have family members, and they also, we find that we'll see that our family no, you are still his son. You are still his son, and you are he is still your father. But we are individual spirit souls. Only in this life, we are in a certain family. In our previous lives, we are in different families, which we cannot remember. And we've been in the samsara, or the cycle of birth and death, since time immemorial. And we've been transmigrating through the 8,400,000 different types of bodies: aquatic, plant, bird, reptiles, birds, beasts, human beings, high human beings. We are traveling. We cannot say in which family we were in before. So your father has become a sadhu because of his contact with devotees, because of his pious actions in his previous life. So we cannot say that I also have that same qualities. But you'll have to practice. You see, you have to practice Krishna consciousness to become a sadhu. So, but you still have a close connection with your father, and you'll also receive benefit from him. But because your father is a sadhu, that doesn't mean that you're a sadhu automatically. You continue doing what you're doing, coming to the temple, chanting Hare Krishna. This makes you a sadhu as well. Hare Krishna.
On the topic of the demigods,
yes,
I think a lot of times people are confused about why not the demigods.
yes.
And Srila Prabhupada made it clear that we don't disrespect the demigods. We actually should appreciate them, because they are performing a duty, and that is they are the administrators. And then we see in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse 10, Krishna is saying, in the beginning I sent forth men and demigods. Then chapter 3 verse 11, he's saying cooperation between the men and demigods, prosperity will reign. So that prosperity for us in terms of material opulence and so on, we don't have to strive hard for it. If we worship Krishna, if we focus on the goal and the purpose of life, then automatically the demigods will reciprocate and provide everything necessary for us to live happily. And one of the things that we have to do is we have to live happily. Srila Prabhupada said this line, Sarve Sukhi Raho. Everyone must live happily. Because only when you're happy, then you can focus on the goal, the purpose of life. If you're not happy, if you're distressed, and you're troubled by things that you need, material things that you need, then it's very difficult to control, to focus on the goal. So we have to be happy, and to be happy, yes, we have to focus on the goal, get the cooperation of the demigods, and then we can focus on liberation.
Yes. Thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.